The biggest sporting event in the history of the state of Mississippi is just a week away. We're going to talk to the mayor of Corinth all about it.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media and a former Ole Miss staff member. We're going to bring in Tom Vanderford in just a second to talk about this Ole Miss moment that is we're right at the precipice of. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss, though, your first listen, and please give it a like, subscribe, and comment on your way out, and check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, college and pro, is there for you, and that is pretty cool. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your live bets all season long. Pretty interesting, pretty fun stuff. We'll see exactly how that goes. Anyway, Tom, this is going to be a really big moment. I know we've talked about this multiple times. This feels like a culmination, a coronation. This is something that every Ole Miss fans at this point, they feel like they are owed this moment, if we're going to be honest about it.
Oh, yeah. I am extremely thankful, though. I can remember before we went to the Sugar Bowl when Hugh Freeze was our coach, I would just say little prayers, dear Lord, please help me just see a Sugar Bowl before I go. And this has exceeded all of my expectations. I don't think some people realize how big of a deal this is.
Yeah, it's like on Friday's podcast, I talked about like my journey as an Ole Miss fan from the beginning and everything that I've gone through. And there's been peaks and valleys. And every time you think you're getting ready to turn that last corner, it's like Lucy pulling the football out from Charlie Brown and you're kind of down a couple of steps. This is the first time that Ole Miss has won the game they normally lose. This is the first time they've turned that corner. And I guess the rug pullout moment that has been Ole Miss fans is the month of November. We didn't even get to enjoy it because of our favorite narcissist that went on to Baton Rouge.
Yeah. That was, I'll take that. Usually, like you said, it's a rug pull moment. We don't get to go. But I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I'm glad we ripped the Band-Aid off and told him good luck. See you next year. And to be honest with you, not trying to get ahead of us here, but John David Baker, man, I'm thrilled that we got him. He went off on his own. He went to East Carolina, and he's put up. So if anybody hasn't looked at his statistics, go look. He's put up some really good numbers, basically the same type of offense with a few wrinkles that we've been running. So it's
with inferior personnel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, by far superior personnel.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that's interesting, I talked about it on one of the podcasts I did last week, that John David Baker is largely responsible for where Ole Miss is right now as a program, because all of the portal king and what grew the last 3 years doesn't happen unless John David Baker lands Jackson Dart. He was the recruiter that got Jackson Dart to Oxford.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, I know Trigg didn't work out with us. He's done well at Baylor. But we don't get those two guys if it's not for John David Baker coming from USC and recruiting those kids to come to Ole Miss.
Yeah. Interesting. And a large part of the offense in 2022 and 2023, that period, that was John David Baker's fingerprints. That's kind of his wheelhouse of what is going on. And apparently you have a cat behind you, by the way, that is just
yeah.
I was like, he's about to jump.
God bless him. I wanted a lap dog and I ended up getting a lap cat. He's not a normal cat. He's always trying to get loving. But anyway, sorry about that, folks.
Yeah. But John David Baker's fingerprints on this Ole Miss football program over the last 3 years have been astronomical compared to what happens. Just look at how much better the offense was in 2023 than it was in 2024. That's all you need to look.
That's
right
all you need to look at, and I think the kids are going to buy into him. I think they're going to like him. And I'm looking at good positive things to happen next year.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it is put together when you look at, and there's still coaches that need to be hired. But holding at his press gathering on Thursday said, we are kind of where we need to be and we're not in a rush anymore.
Right.
So we're just going to handle what's going. If their timeline dictates something else that we really want, then we will rush. If something gets named, that's probably what happened. But if not that, they're not going to do anything, in my opinion, until after the playoffs.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. They needed to, for recruiting and for the portal, we needed our offensive coordinator. Pete's went ahead and said, I'm going to be the defensive coordinator, at least for now. That's fine. I do think he'll, hand over some responsibilities to either people that are on the staff right now or pulling another person or two in. But I'm actually relieved, I guess is the best way. I mean, every year we went through the same old crap. And I'm relieved that we've got somebody that's the anti-Kiffin.
Yeah.
He's just a ball coach.
Yeah, his press conferences, if you watch this channel for the large part of its existence, sometime in 2022, I just stopped covering really press conferences. Yeah. Other than a soundbite that got said or something was going on. But when I first started, I was completely locked into a press conference because this is going to be important. And then it quickly became known that it was farcical. Lane Kiffin was making everything that came out of that a farce, and it was just talking points, and it wasn't worth your time. I think now we finally gotten to the point where the press conference is going to be a real thing again. Yeah,
I think so too. And I love how he's kept saying that he wants to put the focus on the players. I'm not trying to diss Kiffin. Yeah, I appreciate what he did for us. I really do. But we have somebody without any push got 8th in the Heisman Trophy race. We've got somebody that is a finalist for best running back in the country without
none of which got campaigned for.
Yeah, and they didn't campaign because he was too busy campaigning himself about how wonderful he was. And that's where I think things are going to be different.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to see. Anyway, when we come back, we will talk to Tom all about the Tulane Green Wave. We'll talk about the stripe out. We'll talk about uniforms. We'll talk about all of that stuff. It is coming up next. Let's talk about something most men do not want to bring up, but absolutely should. Stress from work, money, and life doesn't just switch off at night. And when it shows up at the worst possible time, Rouge Yet Ready is designed to help you take back control. Rouge Yet Ready is a next-generation prescription treatment created to support both brain and body so you can feel present, confident, and ready when the moment matters most. Rouge Yet Ready contains 3 clinically proven ingredients in one mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. You can connect with a board-certified doctor online, and everything ships discreetly to your door. It's easy to understand why over 150,000 men have already made the switch. If you've been thinking about taking the next step, now is the time. Head to rougiet.com/lockedoncollege. That is RUGIET.com/lockedoncollege to get 15% off your order for a limited time. Rouge Yet Ready. Feel present, feel confident, feel ready. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels a little bit different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. And with FanDuel, You can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the absolute best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover or a missed fourth down conversion. FanDuel lets you jump right into the moment. They have live spreads, money lines that adjust instantly, and player props update as guys heat up. You can bet the next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and even more. It helps keep you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So when you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever audio podcast you're listening to and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but it helps keep all of this free. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network out there. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Ole Miss with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more. All for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedonolemiss.supercast.com or check out the link below that's down in the description. This is a really, really cool thing, but ad-free, and there's also the all-access feature for $15 a month as well. So if you're interested in going all in, being the anti-casual fan, this provides an opportunity for you. All right, Tom. This Tulane game, it's a rematch. Ole Miss won the original matchup 45-10, and it honestly wasn't as close as that. Ole Miss really took their foot off the gas. It's a game that Ole Miss should win. I think they're 17-point favorites, give or take, according to FanDuel right now.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is going to start to go back. I think this. I talked to Walker Jones about this. I talked to other people associated with the program. It feels like Ole Miss is about to get traditional when it comes to uniforms again. It's not going to be so over-reliant on the powder blue jerseys.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if the kids want them, that's fine. But I've got a sneaky suspicion that, our narcissist in chief that just left was the one that enjoyed them.
Yeah. The team voting on a uniform, I don't believe that any more than analytics told him to go for it on 4th and 12 on his own 25.
Yeah. Which, thank God, we don't have to worry about that crap no more either.
Right. Speaking of which, I have complete faith when it comes to stuff like that with Pete Golding. He's not going to do anything that puts his defense in a bad situation. I'm pretty excited about what he can do. Exactly. Listen, there's so much red in the ethos of Ole Miss, the red jerseys, and they are beautiful. Do not get me wrong. They are gorgeous. They're absolutely fantastic. But I have heard rumors that Ole Miss is going to be wearing the same jerseys that they wore the first time.
Huh?
Yeah, they're going out with the navy gray. And again, that's the rumor, but we're still a week out, and they probably haven't even decided that at this point.
I'm fine with that. Just like others have mentioned, I really would have loved the helmets, with the numbers on them, kind of a salute to Vaught. But, that's fine.
And I've already gotten messages on social media that buzz around Oxford's already starting. We're a week out from the game happening, and there's already a buzz starting to build up. I literally think by Tuesday or Wednesday, it's going to be like a normal Thursday or Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It should be nuts.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's good for Oxford. It's good for Ole Miss. It's good for us fans to have that home playoff game.
Yeah, and the video that Ole Miss Sports Production and David Kellum did early in the week, that it was fantastic. I probably watched that video 50 or 60 times at this point.
Yeah, I've watched it multiple times as well. It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, and here's my complaint. I'm not complaining about the video, but there's one shot that did not get included that kind of gets to me a little bit, and that is the Chad Brown hit against Mississippi State in 1992 as part of the stand.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, that feels like that play needed to be in there. I understand that the 2-point conversion had to go and they missed the wind blown back field goal, the 2 shots against Mississippi State, essentially.
Yeah.
I get that. But I think that running back needed to get or Chad Brown, that hit.
Yeah.
Needed to get some pub in that as well, because I believe that was the first game back on campus in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium against Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, it was. It was always in Jackson before that.
Which was sad because if anybody watched my videos and all that, the games in Jackson, especially the Egg Bowl, that was mine and my dad's game that we always went back and forth. You know, that was our game. Now, I saw him play LSU. My mom actually took me to see Ole Miss play LSU in '83. That was my first experience and exposure to LSU fans. And Timmy Moffitt ran a punt back for a touchdown, and all of a sudden the whiskey bottles started flying.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, because my mom she just wanted to go to the ball game, so she just got tickets. She didn't know anything about it. She bought tickets in the middle of the LSU section.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so she's sitting there holding a jacket over the top of me to prevent whiskey bottles from taking out her 6 or 7-year-old son. And yeah, that was my introduction to the LSU fans. And honestly, they haven't gotten much better, if we're going to be.
No. We all have friends that were in the band at Ole Miss from time to time, but I've got a friend that he always remembers getting hit with a pea balloon, the water balloon, but it was full of pea, and they dropped it on him as they were marching into the stadium.
And that was in Tiger Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I mean, and don't get me wrong, Tiger Stadium, other than Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, Tiger Stadium is probably my favorite place to watch a football game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy going down there.
Oh, yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, but there's just people that there's a coolness factor, and you see this from time to time. There's a coolness factor associated with misbehaving.
Right.
And once that culture kind of gets glorified, you're going to get more and more and more, and you get down there. That's how that reputation starts.
Yeah, that's true. And, they like having their games at night and getting a little drunk. Of course, I was kind of irritated at the third game of the year thing. I thought they did us a disservice. Of course, we're playing Auburn on Halloween now, but I think they kind of did us a disservice with that one.
Yeah. When you look at it, that game should have been a Halloween game. The Kiffin coming back, all of that stuff. Don't give me the Alabama stuff. You're just going to lose that game. You always do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if Kalen DeBoer goes off to Michigan and some NFL coach comes in. You're going to lose that game. Yeah. It just happens. And nobody pees down their leg like Lane Kiffin does once he sees Alabama's logo.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just can't get past it. So the game should have been on Halloween.
Yeah.
But September 19th, you're going to get an Ole Miss team that is very, very motivated against an LSU team that they're just putting in a new system of way of doing thing. It'll be advantage Ole Miss. It'll be the first conference game, I believe, for LSU. It's going to be advantage Ole Miss, especially when you look at how motivated the coaches are going to be to win that game. Because everything I heard, like once he decided he was going to leave Ole Miss, it didn't matter what. I genuinely think he was going somewhere.
Yeah.
But the assistant coaches did not like at all how this got handled.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think there's going to be a motivation factor from the staff and the players that return as well. I can't imagine whether it be Austin Simmons or Trinidad Chambliss or if Kewan Lacey sticks around, all of that, they're going to remember the month of November. They always say you remember November. Yeah, they're going to remember November for that and their playoff run and all of that stuff as well. So I think they're going to walk in and see a very motivated team, really similar to when Romero Miller and those guys went onto the plains at Auburn after Tuberville left. There was no way that Ole Miss was losing that game.
No, there wasn't. And, I hope that he has to have the same press conference that Tuberville did, where he's like, well, we recruited all those kids and blah, blah, blah. I don't care if he takes credit for it.
Oh, my favorite thing is he's going to try and take credit for the play. They're going to beat Tulane by 30 points or something like that. And he's going to say, see, these are my guys.
Yeah.
That's the group that I built. But there's a backfire factor to that because it's going to happen against Tulane.
Yeah.
But there's a rematch with Georgia on the books the next week that he lost to. So if Ole Miss beats Georgia, then everything backfires like, oh, well, maybe you were the problem. Maybe this team could have been better if not for all of the chaos and distractions that you were causing.
Exactly. They're going to be more locked in than they have been all season.
All right.
I've got a friend down there, and he says after they fired Kelly, Kiffin was a totally different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely was. Anyway, when we come back, we will finish talking out. We'll even talk about Ole Miss doing a stripe out for the college football playoff game. That is red and navy blue. We will talk about that in just a second. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every single time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to shape memories because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Grandparents, parents, and newlyweds, anybody that loves photos, endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos through Aura's app. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used and is not just forgotten in a drawer. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named number one by Wirecutter, by using the promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That is auraframes.com, promo code COLLEGE. The deal is exclusive to our listeners, and the frames sell out in a hurry. So please get yours now and get it in time for the holidays. Support our show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Tommy, this game is a stripe out, okay? It's red and navy blue. I know we've been doing the red and the powder recently.
Yeah.
But right now, I do think during this playoff run, powder is somewhat of a toxic color. So they're going to use as little of the powder as they can, with the exception of maybe the helmets.
Right.
But they're going to stripe out navy blue and red. The last time they did a navy blue and red stripe out was the Kentucky game in 2022, I believe. But this is going to be interesting because every other stripe out that Ole Miss has done, they put out the information in like June, and then you have 4 months to get going and get to where you need to be. Right. This time you've got 1 week. So this will be the hardest thing for the Ole Miss fan base to do, because I'm going to be honest, whenever I was at Oxford in another lifetime ago, just getting the people to wear red to every single game was a chore. Now we've gotten to the point where we're doing stripe outs and all of that stuff. So I'm going to be interested to see how it ends up, but this will be the test to see whether the Ole Miss fan base has truly matured like we think we have.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think for no other reason, the fact that Mr. Kiffin's gone, I think everybody will be dying to prove the point that, yeah, we can do this without that guy.
Yeah, this atmosphere, I think they said 13,000 student tickets are going to be made available. Now, a lot of that probably has to do with some of the student tickets going into the normal recruiting section, because you can't do recruiting as well. So that probably became student tickets.
Yeah.
But 13,000 over 10,000, the question becomes to me, will they break 69 or 70,000 people in this game? And if they do, can they even do that? Because the Florida game was 68,138, and it didn't look like you could breathe in that stadium.
If it's possible, it will happen, my friend. And one thing I want to say real quick before we get out, you guys have followed me for years and talking to the folks out there, and I'm thankful, and I ain't never asked for nothing. But if any of you folks out there have an extra ticket you want to give an old retired guy, I'll take it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, help out the mayor of Corinth.
Yep.
I mean, come on. And B. Brown got promoted to the head coach of the defense. So that's going to be his responsibility under Pete Golding. And it looks like Pete Golding is going to continue to call the defense, but you're going to have the head coach of the defense, and they're likely going to hire a defensive coordinator as well. So,
right.
I think that side of the ball is going to be very well coached. What do you got going on this weekend, this last weekend of taking a break before it all gets underway?
Well, tomorrow, since I've retired, I've done a lot of volunteering, and I'm the region co-coordinator for Wreaths Across America. So tomorrow at 11 in Corinth, and it'll be 12, of course, at Arlington and Washington, D.C., and all across America. We're going to be laying wreaths at the national cemeteries, at the graves of our nation's heroes. And my dad and father-in-law and lots of aunt and uncles are buried there. So that's what I'll be doing. And then I'll watch my favorite college game other than an Ole Miss game.
Go Navy.
Go Navy. That's right. Go Navy. Beat Army.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. My wife, on like our pick 'em that we do, they asked like the Army Navy game. We picked that this week, and she just posted on that "Go Big Land," and everybody's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "She was stationed on the USS Emory S. Land." That's the pretty self-explanatory thing.
Exactly. Well, my brother was one of my brothers was a nuke in the Navy, and of course I was aviation electronics, and our other brother did not serve. So he has bet us that Army is going to beat Navy. So that'll be some easy money.
Yeah, that's in the bank. Absolutely in the bank. Anyway, Tom, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next time, bud.
Thanks, man. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.